Hello and welcome to the Ally Invest Service Show. My name is Brian Overby. I am with Ally Invest and I'll be your host for today's show. On our show today, our theme is going to be some new features inside the Ally Invest live trading platform. And we're also going to talk about some of the features of the Tax Center. Today we have with us Allison and Dom from our Ally Invest customer service team. First off, Dom will be highlighting some of those new features on the site, and then Allison will show where to view your gains and losses and some of those features inside the Tax Center, all in the Ally Invest live trading platform. Now, with that mentioned, our viewers are the ultimate driver of the content of the show, though. If you have any questions or about the platform or anything that you would like to chat about today, please put those questions in the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, I do have to point out that for privacy concerns, that we can only answer general questions about the platform. And please do not put in any account information or contact information in the chat box for all to see. The goal of this show is to help out as much as we can in this open platform without compromising the safety and security of your accounts. All right, so with that said, I'm going to start by passing it over to Dom and let Dom talk about a few of the new features inside the Ally Invest live trading platform. Dom?
Yeah, absolutely. So the new platform is relatively the same with viewing purposes. So everything that you're used to seeing is still going to be there. However, we have made adjustments to some of the tabs. So it's going to make it more concise and easy to view. So as you may have been aware, there was a tab called investment accounts, and that has been done away with. So in its place, you will see holdings activity, research, and then documents and tools. So in the past, you would go to investment accounts to use the document upload tool, which didn't make as much sense as the new tab here, documents and tools. So if you're looking for a tool, it's going to be under documents and tools. So it'll make it a lot more easier to locate items. Now the overall website is still going to look the same. So it has been that way for quite some time. So you are going to be used to that. So nothing really changes there. Now with the new tabs, trading, if you were to click on that, you'd still get the stocks and ETFs, options, mutual funds, fixed income. So all that is the same. Now on that tab in particular was order status. And that one has actually moved to holdings and activity. So once you click on that there, that's one of the adjustments made to that one. And if you were to go to documents and tools, yep. So once that pulls up there, you can see a lot more tabs there. So you're going to see documents, document upload, tax center, ETF screener, charts, alerts, news, API. So this is the bulk of the tabs here. Now, the important one we're actually going to be talking a little bit about today is going to be that tax center. All right.
Okay, so with that said, let's go and pass it over to Allison. Allison, you want to show some of the features inside the Tax Center? And I want to point out, we have quite a few that are actually attending at this point in time that just joined in. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We'd like to try to address them. And with that said, I'll pass it back to Allison to talk a little bit about the features inside the Tax Center.
Thanks, Brian. So as Dom had mentioned, under the documents and tools, you'll see a link to your tax center in here. A couple of things that are available for you in your tax center. So we have some different tax states that are in here. So just so you're aware of what the tax states are, these have been updated for 2021. So for example, if you are filing an extension for this year, you have until October 15th. If you file that extension, you also have until that day to remove any excess IRA contributions. Again, we have some specific dates in here as well for processing, such as if you have a worthless security and you need to complete a penny for the lot transaction, you have until Friday, December 24th in order to get those forms in order for them to be processed and that transaction to take place for 2021. So make sure that you're checking out those dates in there to make sure that you've got all the dates that you need. Again, these will update throughout the year as changes are made, so you can definitely check them out in here. And of course, you can always check out irs.gov, which will have the latest information as well. So while you're in here, you'll see there is a quick link in here if you do need to make a contribution for your 2021 IRA and you are still eligible for that. You are able to go in here and fund that. Again, open an account as well. All of these changes have been made in order to make it a little bit easier, so you can click right on the links there in order to get into that information. Below that, you'll see some information related to your tax records. So a couple of things in here, and again, it's all located in one easy to find place in your tax center. So we have your 1099s as well as any other tax forms that have been sent to you. So obviously all of our 2021 tax forms, all of our 2020 tax forms have already been sent out. So you can link to those forms in here. As the year comes to an end and we start preparing your 2021 tax forms, you'll see a link. You can get into those as well here, and that will take you to those tax forms for that particular year. You're also able to access your account statements in here as well. So if you need to get any information from your account statements for taxes, there's a quick link in here for you. In addition to that, we do have some IRS resources for you. So different forms that you may need from the IRS, individual tax guides, 1099 information, all of that is in here for you, and it will link out to different pages so you can access that in all one easy to find resource. In addition, we do have some helpful links in education. So we've heard from quite a few of you about having some more educational tools. So we do have some helpful links in here. So one of the things we have is our trading tax implications. So while our Ally Invest employees, they are not tax advisors, there is some information available out here if you want to learn about some different tax strategies that you're able to do in your self-directed account. So it gives a brief overview of how taxes are applied based on the account type you have. It's got some terminology in here for you as well. So you can take a look at that and review the different options that you have available. Again, you are more than welcome to call or chat with any of our associates. Please keep in mind that, obviously you want to speak with a tax advisor for your specific situation, but you can definitely get some information in here and discuss some of that information with our associates as well. In addition to that, we also have some information related to mutual funds and taxes, because those are handled a little bit differently than your regular stocks are. We do have our overall Ally Invest Education Center. If you have not checked that out yet, I highly encourage it. There's a lot of good information out here related to many different things. So we have our overall Ally Invest pages. There's ones related specifically to trading, to stocks, to bonds, to mutual funds. So depending on what it is that you're interested in, what it is that you're investing in, there's a lot of good resources available out there for you. So in addition to articles, there's some quizzes out there that you can take to test your knowledge, and it'll link you to different sites. As you're aware, Brian, our host, is also one of our options experts. So you can link to some really exciting articles and playbooks that he has designed for us, and that's all available from that Ally Invest Education Center. Another thing that we do have available is the tax FAQ. So as we know, there's always a lot of questions related to taxes. So you can definitely come in here, and there's some FAQs available for you. So you can check and see, is some of the questions that you have they already been answered? So scrolling through, you can get some information in there. Keep in mind, again, this is going to be general information related to taxes. Anything specific to your particular account, again, you're going to want to check with your tax advisor to see the specifics for you. But Ally will provide you some general information overall related to taxes to give you an idea. If it's something that you enjoy doing on your own, you can definitely come and find some information in here. So those are just a couple of the resources that are available here under the tax center for you. Again, it's all one quick and easy place for you to find it. In addition to that, for those of you that are, taking care of those taxes by yourself, we do have some additional resources available if you need to download any of your account information. We do offer the option to download all of your activity into Quicken. So when you need to figure out those gains, losses, things like that, there is the ability to download that into Quicken. So we do get quite a few calls. You'll find that under your tax center here. You'll select the account that you want to download, the specific dates that you want to do it for, and then the option to download will be there, and that will download that information into your Quicken tax software. Please keep in mind that we support Quicken 2004 and anything newer, but that is a quick and easy way for you to do it that way, as opposed to going through your account statements or your account activity that is available. So those are just some different options available for you. Another thing we'll talk a little bit about briefly today is your gains and losses. So when we're talking about taxes, we do need to talk about gains and losses. And there's a couple of different things that you'll see on our website. So when your account is open, when you have trades in your account, you'll see both unrealized and realized gains. So you may be asking yourself, what is the difference between them? Why do I see different numbers? So your unrealized gains, that's going to be reflected based on what you currently have in your account. So you haven't made the sale yet. The security is just in your account. So based on when you purchase that security and what it is currently valued at and what you could sell it at, that's what they call the unrealized gains. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But before we do, let's see if we have any questions.
All right, Allison, we do have one. Neil in the chat box asks, could you please show how to sell specific tax lots purchased on different dates?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So there are ways that you can change how your securities cost basis is reported. So the question that was asked is specifically related to specific identification. So that is an option available for you. So the different strategies that you have are first in, first out, known as FIFO, and that is what Ally does default to. There's also an option for last in, first out. There's an option for an average, as well as the question of specific lot identification. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that specific lot identification, and that is going to be done through our Maxit Tax Manager. You can also contact our, once your sale has been completed, you can also contact any one of our associates, and they will be happy to go through and get that set up for you as well. But when we're talking about that Maxit Tax Manager, that's going to be in your documents and tools. Under your tax center, you'll see here there's the option for to launch Maxit. Again, you can manage your tax strategy, as well as have some additional FAQs related to Maxit as well. Now, keep in mind the Maxit Tax Manager, it is for display purposes only. It will not modify what's on your 1099. So again, you will need to give us a call before the settlement date. Keep in mind for stocks, that settlement date is 2 business days. So you will need to give us a call, and we can definitely go in and update that for you. Or depending on how you do it, there is an option through our classic platform where you can update it yourself as well.
All right, we have one more. Allison, let me jump in here. This seems, I guess I can address this, but I'm sure that you might be able to drive still, Allison. V. Patel is saying, how can I see credit or debit price when I'm trying to roll an option contract? There are 2 different ways that we can do this. Allison, do you want me to talk through it, or would you just like to basically go to our option chains and try to show them exactly what we're looking to do?
Brian, you are more than welcome to talk through it, and I will happily drive for you.
Excellent. So then let's go to the research tab and let's just pull up an option contract. I don't think we have an option inside this test account. So if I were to roll an option out in time, good. Apple's a great example. So nothing's ever meant to be a recommendation, but if we're looking at Apple here, we need more than 1 expiration. Allison, could we go and pull up 2 expirations? So expirations over on the right-hand side. And we're going to check let's do the 11-day one. That October 22nd. Okay, so now if we're looking to roll this option contract, you can close out the expirations. Got to click on the little box there. And you go back, let's say we're going from the 145 call, for example, if we were short a call. So go over to the drop down on the 145 strike call. You see our little drop down box over on the left-hand side by the IV. Well, that's fine. The other left. Okay. So we'll buy. So we're going to be buying to close that option contract. So let's click buy. And then scroll down and let's go to the 147 strike call, which is too higher. Okay. There you go. And then over to the left-hand side. And we're going to click sell. Okay. So in this scenario, we're going to put this in the order ticket overall, but let's scroll down to the option strategy workbench. This is where you're going to see if it's done for a net credit or a net debit to the account. So the concept would be that if I was short the 145 call, in other words, I had a very common thing would be to have a covered call on a stock position that you may own. And if you have that, then you'd be looking to buy to close the 145 strike call, and then sell to open the 147 strike call. So you're seeing right now that the midpoint, and if you could highlight the midpoint, Allison, right there, that is a net debit, and that's what DB stands for, to the account of 6 cents, meaning that if we enter this entire trade and we try to get it at the midpoint, we would be closing out this position and opening a new position, and it would cost us 6 cents to do this roll, or $6 plus commission. So another way to look at this too, and I'll highlight it just by clicking trade. Allison, if you click trade, and then let's actually take it one step further, Allison, because I don't have any questions in the chat box, so I'll just keep rolling here. That first drop down, the buy to open, let's make that a buy to close. Okay, so this would be rolling an option contract. You would be buying to close the October 15th, 145 call, selling to open the October 22nd, 147 call. We're going out in time and up in strike. And in this instance, let's just click on the midpoint. Allison, just click on the actual quote. That's more common in the options world, that you would enter a limit order than a market order. So now we're saying we're wanting to do this at a net debit of 10 cents, and the duration would be good for the day. Now, rolling and stuff like that, we do actually have a section inside the options playbook that talks a little bit more about this. So this answers V. Patel's question inside the chat box. But if you'd like to learn more about it, you can go to optionsplaybook.com and go to managing your position. Optionsplaybook.com, managing your positions. All right. So if you have any other questions, put them into the chat box. We're getting a little bit to the end of the show, so you want to get them in as soon as you can. With that said, Allison, I think you were looking at some tax forms, or the gain loss when we left off, right, Allison? That's where we were at.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about what we would see from a gain loss standpoint. So we talked a little bit about unrealized gains. Again, that is going to be the change in price based on what you currently hold in your account. That's what you'll see before you actually go ahead and make that sale of your security. Once you've actually made the sale, you have your price, that's when you'll start taking a look and you'll see your realized gains and losses. So we're going to take a look at your, your realized gains and losses here. So from your holdings and activity, you'll see a tab that says realized gain loss. So this is going to update after you physically sell the security here. Excuse me.
Yeah, if you scroll, yeah, there you go. If you scroll to the top,
close out our ticket here. So this is where you'll see your actual realized gains losses. So this is after you've sold the security based on, again, what your tax strategy is. So Ally does default to first in, first out. So if you haven't changed it, that's how it's going to be reported for you. So you can take a look in here and see what is it that you have for realized gains, short-term versus long-term. So short-term is held less than a year. Long-term is anything that you've held longer than a year. That's the information you're going to see. So that's going to help you when you're going through and doing and filing your taxes, because if you do have a gain, you may be required to pay some taxes on that. If you do have a loss, you may or may not be able to write that off on your taxes. Again, all of that information you can definitely discuss with your tax advisor, or you can check out our FAQs to get some information as well. You can also visit the IRS the IRS website at irs.gov that will have that information listed for you as well. But again, you'll be able to go in here and see the cost basis based on when you acquired it, when you sold it, what proceeds you received from it, and so forth. All that information is available. Again, when you are needing to get that information, depending on how much trading you've done in that account, you do have the option to download that information using Quicken, and that is available through that Documents and Tools Tax Center that we looked at as well. So you can download that information from Quicken and have that at your fingertips to have that information available when you are going through and filing your taxes.
All
Again,
right.
Alex.
I'm going to jump in here a little bit. We're coming to the end of the show. So specifically, because obviously Allison is an expert in the gains and losses and the tax documents. If you have any specific questions about that, please put them in the chat box right now. And I'd also like to get Dom involved. Let's come up with a good question that we can ask Dom before the end of the show. Right now, the chat box is open up. Just put it in the right-hand side of your screen, and I'll let Allison finish her last thoughts on the gain loss section of the Ally Invest platform.
Yeah, so again, all of this information is available for you. You will see this information again through that realized gain and losses. You can also find some additional information through that activity tab as well. Again, if you do need that information, you can get from your tax forms. Again, that information is available in your tax center, and you'll see the link to your 1099 as well as any other tax forms. That is going to be for both retirement and non-retirement accounts.
All right. Well, all right. I think we're gonna make this the last question for the day. This question is in regards to IRAs. The question is, do I get a 1099 for my IRA account?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And the answer is, it depends. So there's a couple of different tax forms that you get with IRAs. Now, if you're talking about any sort of contributions that you've made to your account, you will receive a 5498 for the year. Those typically come out after the tax filing deadline because you do have until the tax filing deadline to make those contributions. So in a typical year, it would be, they usually come out sometime around May. Again, you can check out that tax center that has those dates listed specifically for it, and that will just show any contributions that you've made for that tax year. The other times that you'll receive tax documents for your IRA would be if you actually took a distribution, meaning you withdrew funds from your account, and that would be that 1099-R that you would receive that would show any distributions. Because keep in mind, with your IRA accounts, they do grow tax deferred until you actually take those funds out of the account. So that is, again, depending on your particular situation when you'll see those forms. There may also be, again, depending on if you did any sort of excess contribution removals or any sort of recharacterizations, you may have a form in there as well. If you're not sure, I highly recommend checking out that Tax Center FAQ. You can also reach out to any one of our associates that can take a look at your account as well.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of the Ally Invest Service Show. If you do have any additional questions, you can put them in the comment section. We will be back next week, and we will try to address those in the comment section of this YouTube video. And with that said, I'd like to thank Dom and Allison for coming in and answering some questions. And please click subscribe, ring the bell, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Take care.